Hello, I'm Julian Ranger, the founder of Social Safe, which we will explain and demo today and tell you our vision. Now, most of you out there probably use a variety of different social media, from the Facebooks, Twitters, etc. And that's great for the real-time stream, but it causes you problems. Your data is fragmented and all over the place, subject to data loss as you swap from different networks. You can't easily get your old data back again. You can't easily reuse it. Basically, you have no control over your data, and we're here to fix that. We're here as Social Safe to give you a software application that you download to your device that then goes and gets your data direct from all of those social networks direct to your device, creating a lovely aggregated library which you can then do more with, and you end up controlling your own data. So it's always in your control forever. You can reuse, you can look at, you can work with. So these are some of the lovely screenshots that you see there. And as George gets the demo set up, I want to tell you one very important point. And that is you store the data locally. We give you this app that you're going to see, and it brings the data down to your device. So we, Social Safe, the company, know nothing about you, see none of your data. All we know is your name and email and country of origin. Your data is yours and yours alone. So here, George has got the application. He's scrolling down. You can see he's already logged on and got a lot of different data from Instagram, Twitter, Facebook pages, Google, blogs, etc., etc. That is all brought down on a schedule that you set up automatically, constantly updating. And there's lots of things you can then do with it, and that's what we're going to show you. So George here is going to a particular date on things, so something in November, and you'll see all the posts, all the interactions he did. So photos that he put up on Instagram and comments, Facebook posts, tweets, all of them laid out in a beautiful timeline, all there, everything hyperlinked, everything filterable so you can choose what to see. You can search. So George is going to search for Le Webb. Now, there was nothing on that date, but he can now search over 6 years worth of data. So he's now searched very quickly, and because all the data is local, you'll see how quickly that came up. And there is all the data for Le Webb. He can then do all sorts of things with that. He can export it, whatever else. But he's going to create a collection. Now, a collection is a bit like an album, but instead of just photos, you can have people, your friends, followers, you can have your tweets, your status posts, you can decide. So he selected everything that was done with Le Webb, and he's created the Le Webb collection. So if he goes to collections, you'll now see there is the Le Webb collection that he created. But he can do a lot more. There's photos. Now, we all love our photos, and the photos come down and they're shown in the stream. But most applications that bring your photos down just bring the photo down. We do more. We bring all the comments that were made on this rather fetching picture of George with two of his mates, and we bring down the facial tags. Thank you, George, for allowing us to use that. So there's a lot of information, and we can aggregate and bring those together from there. We've also got insights. We can tell you instantly your most popular posts over 6 years across all of your networks, or the last week, who you spoke to the most. We can tell you all sorts of things about when you post. And here George is showing the latest one that we just released recently, which is all the Instagram filters. Which filters did he use? Which were the most popular photographs for each of the filters he used, etc. And you'll notice they're all dogs. They're always dogs. There's lots of other things I could show you about internationalization. We've got foreign languages, etc. But George finally is going to do one we prepared earlier, which is, it literally only takes 20 seconds, but it's 20 seconds we didn't have. So this is a PDF of a day, just beautifully laid out, and you can go from there. But as time goes on, I'll go back to the presentation. Want to tell you how we're actually doing. So we've got 75,000 users. We've been putting them on mainly this year. We get 20% of people who visit our website download. We've taken our engagement metrics from 10% all the way up to 70%. And you can see there 30% of our users are paid users. And that's because we have partners, and we're in France, so I should show you our main French partner, Fnac, which you probably know, loads of stores all through France, and they've incorporated Social Safe in their pack, Fnac, and are selling it for us. But today, I want to tell you about our vision. And our vision's very important where we're going. Firstly, we're going to allow you to store your library in your Dropbox, your Google Drive, wherever you want it, and to have mobile. But then, this is the important point. I've only got a minute. That based upon 20 years of military experience, I built a company which I sold to Lockheed Martin. I can tell you that big data is wrong. Now, they'll tell you it's right next door, but it's wrong for us as individuals and for people wanting to sell to us, because big data is effectively only a wedge of our data. And it's an incorrect wedge quite often, and one we haven't allowed. So what we're going to do is actually cure that. So next year, we're going to go and increase the data set. We'll get your bank data, your purchases on eBay and Amazon, your health data, your quantified self data. All the data that's spread out will come to your 100% private library, and then you will be able to permission access other people. So you can now start to decide who gets to see your data, and it's the accurate whole set of data about you. And it can be private. You can just show an app on your phone. You can do all sorts of things. So that predicts a lot of the legal changes that are coming and allows you as an individual to take control of your own data and decide what's going to be done with it. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well done. With seconds to spare.
Seconds to spare.
There you go. All right. Lots of questions I can see.
Yeah, the
we'll
interesting counter trend, right? So it's not about SaaS, not about the cloud, it's about you and your device. So when it's lost or it's stolen, that's it?
No. Today, yes, but no, because you can get it back again. But in fact, from January, and in fact, we're already trialing it, you can choose to put your library in your own personal cloud. So that could be SkyDrive in the case of you for Microsoft, or it could be Google Drive, or it could be Dropbox, or whatever. But the individual chooses, he can put it on his own NAS drive. And then he can make that available amongst any of his devices. So he will always have it, can always decide where it is. We don't hold it, which of course is great for our scalability as well.
So it's very cool. But it's interesting to me that you're leading with a value proposition or message around safety and privacy. There are, I think there's a very strong trend around sort of nostalgia or being able to relive moment, and there's this concept that your memoir gets automatically written by the fact that you create digital breadcrumbs all the time. Have you I don't know, tested or given some thought in turning this into a sort of consumer product around reliving my life as opposed to a drier message around safety?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to say you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. What I pitched to you today was to show you the vision of where we're going, which includes the safety, the privacy of your data, the reuse. If you actually go and look at our website, it's all about getting the whole story of you today. So we are pitching to the emotion of your data, the value of your data, what you can do with it. And that is what is working. That's why we're getting 20% downloads and high usability rates. What we're trying to get is people, through our partnerships and through our own stuff, comfortable that they can own their data, that there's a lot you can do with it, and then we can extend it. So you're absolutely right, and that's exactly the message we're going out to market with today if you look at our website.
Let me try that. There we go. Because I want to get some clarity to make sure that we're all on the same page. When you pull this data from across sites, are you removing it or replicating it?
We're replicating it because that's all we can do, but we will be putting in a privacy recovery function, as we're calling it, next year, so you can ask us to delete things off the web for you. Now, we can only do that if the APIs allow us. So some do, like Twitter will, but if they don't, we'll make it more private, and if we can't make it more private, we'll take you to where it is and then show you how to do it.
And that's really where the safety component blends in, I think.
Yes, and you've got your data. Yeah.
Great. Sorry, Frederic.
Sorry, just to be, I was a bit confused by the value proposition, because you refer to saving data, but then say that data is then saved to a third-party, cloud, like Drive or.
No. Absolutely. So I've obviously not got that across. That data comes down from Facebook, Google+, everything, directly to your device. It is held on your device. It is not on another third-party device. You own it. You hold it. We can't see it. And then you can then put it onto, if you want to make a backup of it, you can do that locally, or you can put it into Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever, and then access it from other devices.
So, being provocative, do you think people really care about that as opposed to caring more about the network and the interaction? Because I think there is this whole debate about the value of social networks, and people have been switching networks quite easily, going from MySpace to Facebook and now to Snapchat or whatever, especially younger people. And the value seems to be more in the network. I go where my friends are, as opposed to wherever I've been building a long history.
The whole point is that as we're now moving through, you're now seeing people caring about the history. There's a lot of data there, and as you move network, networks, and we're not there to replace the networks. They do whatever they do, though you can have more private ones in future. We're there to sweep up your digital trail today, but also your other data, which is your fitness and your health and all of that other information, so that you always have it, so you can actually relate things together. And imagine a world where a new app, loads of people out here want to design new apps, and they want access to your health data, your travel data, and the food you eat. Couldn't do it today. But with Social Safe in a year's time, you can, because all of that data will have come down into your library and you can permission access to it. So it's not just about social data, it's where we start, because a lot of people have got an emotional attachment to it, and it shows the value of not having your data spread around the world, but having it locally to you. And that's, you know, we're talking to fairly big partners as a consequence of that, because they can see there's a new EU law coming, which is going to make cookies and everything else not work, but with Social Safe, it's not a problem. People can permission access. You can store the data, you can give that information away.
I don't understand why you say you can't do it today. The data is out there. The data is on the social networks, and any significant company can get access to this data. It's out there, right?
It can, but it's complicated to get access to all that data, especially as you go on to more and more and more different things. And do you want to have to keep giving permission to the whole of your streams each time and all the rest of it that you're doing, rather than the detail? But the most important thing is to realize that you've got it yourself first, that you have it yourself, then you can do a lot with it. And you saw me doing a lot with it, or George doing a lot with it, and then you go from there.
Great. We are out of time. I think there's a lot to explore about sort of cross-system analytics and all of that, and I hope that the audience will take the opportunity to do that at your stand later on this week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.